If you've ever lashed out when you didn't want to, or shut down when you needed to speak, or gone along to keep the peace when your soul was screaming no, you've experienced a trauma response. By the end of this episode, you'll understand the four main trauma survival patterns: fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. You'll also learn how these patterns show up in your life without you realizing it. And you'll discover gentle somatic tools to release stuck survival energy so you can reconnect with yourself. Throughout our time together, you'll hear from Dr. Peter Levine, founder of Somatic Experiencing and one of the world's leading voices in trauma recovery. His thoughts will guide the conversation.
When we perceive danger in our environment, our bodies start to tune up to prepare us to flee or to fight. If there is a threat, we're running, and we're running for our lives. And so we get a reciprocal contraction of extensor and flexor muscles so that our bodies run in a coordinated way.
Let's start with the four ways the body tries to protect us. First, there's flight. Maybe you find yourself snapping in traffic, or shouting at your partner, or feeling your chest tighten with rage over something small. Then there's flight. You can't sit still. You're always working, running, scrolling, or doing anything to escape the restless energy inside. Freeze is next. That's when you zone out. Your body feels heavy and your mind is foggy. You're present but not fully alive, as if you're moving through molasses. Lastly, there's fawn. Maybe you agree even when you disagree. You smile, nod, and say yes when everything in you wants to say no. That's the fawn response. It's all about seeking safety through appeasement. None of these responses are flaws. They are ancient survival strategies. They kept us safe when we couldn't fight back, couldn't escape, or couldn't risk losing connection. What Dr. Levine describes is crucial. Trauma isn't only in the mind. It's locked into our muscles, our breath, and our very physiology. That's why healing isn't about willpower. It's about helping the body complete what it once couldn't.
Therapeutically, the energy of the fight or flight response is actually locked in those frozen muscles, the freeze response. And what we have to do when we're working with somebody in the freeze response, this is really important therapeutically, we have to help them access that locked-in energy one small amount at a time. So I like to think of this as the fight or flight response, which then gets locked in, and all of this energy is compressed. So what we need to do therapeutically is help the person release that energy and do that one small amount at a time so the person isn't overwhelmed, because that's the key. Because we're in the freeze response, how to get out of the freeze response. And it has to be gently, and it has to be term I use is titration. You titrate your access. So then it moves into free movement. And the person is moving now from fixity and stuckness and rigidity into slow.
Imagine your nervous system as a house with rooms. The living room is all about connection and safety. When you're here, the lights are on, the doors are open, and you welcome people in. You feel safe, curious, and connected. Then there's the panic room. It serves an entirely different purpose. When you sense danger, you rush into this room. The alarms blare, adrenaline surges, and your body prepares to run or defend. Finally, there's the basement. This represents freeze or fawn. When escape feels impossible, your system drops you down here. It's dark, quiet, and you shut down or comply to survive. Animals in the wild change states easily. A gazelle shakes off the freeze after escaping a lion. But humans, we often don't. Instead, we carry that unresolved energy for years. You may wonder, why do I overreact to small stresses? Why does my body feel tense even when nothing's happening? It's because the survival energy never finished its cycle. It stayed locked inside. This is really important, and it may go against your expectations. Healing doesn't come in one dramatic purge. It comes in tiny, safe doses, one gentle release at a time. That's the principle of titration. Instead of reliving the trauma, we let the body slowly reclaim its natural rhythm of safety and movement.
Fear is a combination of a bodily sensation coupled with images and or with certain thoughts. Now, the sensation itself is just a sensation. When you couple it with some kind of an image, as in flashbacks of PTSD, or with these thoughts, oh my God, this is never going to end, catastrophizing. The trick here is to be able to separate the physical sensations of fear. So it could be the heart beating, tightness in the chest, twisting or turning in the gut. Those are the physical sensations. And when we're able to be guided, which is a lot of what somatic experiencing is about, when we allow ourselves to be guided by those sensations or to be able to feel through the sensations. So, for example, if a person reports their heart is pounding and it's racing. So, a question I might ask to a client is, as you notice your heart pounding and racing, just as you notice it, does it seem to increase? Does it seem to stay the same? Does it seem to decrease? Or does it somehow change to something else? So just by asking this question, we're letting the person kind of stretch out their experience of the sensation of fear in the heartbeat.
Now, let's talk about fear. Fear itself is just a sensation, a racing heart, tightness in the chest, or a twist in the stomach. But when we fuse those sensations with catastrophic thoughts or painful images, fear becomes chronic. This is why trauma survivors often feel like they live in constant dread. Not because the threat is still here, but because body and mind are stuck in a feedback loop. Did you notice what Dr. Levine said? He took something overwhelming, a pounding heart, and invited curiosity. Does it increase? Does it decrease? Or does it perhaps shift into something else? By separating the sensation from the story, the fear begins to dissolve. This is one of the secrets of somatic healing. You don't fight fear head-on. You meet it gently, with awareness, and keep on doing that until it transforms.
So I'm feeling just tired. I'm exhausted. I can't think clearly. I have a hard time even reading. And I keep trying to read, and it's just really more and more frustration. So I say, okay, just for now, see if we can just put that to the side. All of those thoughts and images that come into your mind. And let's just do this together, okay? And this you may very well have done as children. And if not, I invite the child in you, in any case, invite the child in you to be with the child in me, as I will demonstrate a little teeny exercise we can do. Okay, so you're not going to be able to see the whole of me. Skip, skip, skip to the loo, skip, skip, skip to the loo, skip, skip, skip to the loo, skip to the loo, my darling. Whoa, my fingers are tingling. I feel tingling in my feet. I feel warmth in my belly just by doing this one very, very simple, trivial quotation marks exercise. So again, we need to mobilize a certain amount of energy and then through the body sensations, allow the energy, the sensations to go up and then to come down.
So, what can we actually do, here and now, to release trauma responses? Here are a few tested practices you can do right where you are. First up is grounding through your feet. Place both feet firmly on the ground. Press your toes into the floor and then slowly release. Roll your feet gently side to side. Notice the support of the earth beneath you. This reminds your body, I am held, I am supported. Second is pendulation awareness. Bring your attention to one place in your body that feels tight or heavy. Now, shift your focus to a part that feels neutral, maybe your hands or your breath. Move back and forth between the two, gently. This back and forth is called pendulation. It helps your body discharge stuck survival energy. Third is vocal release. Close your eyes and let out a soft sigh. Then hum, groan, or make a sound that feels natural. Don't worry about how it sounds. Let your body choose the tone. Vibrations through the chest and throat send a signal of safety and release to your nervous system. These might look silly, but with mindfulness, you'll feel the difference. Look out for a tingling in the hands or warmth in the belly. These are signs of life returning. Sometimes the deepest healing comes from the simplest childlike acts. Let's try something together. Close your eyes, if you can. Notice one part of your body that feels tight, heavy, or numb. Now, simply ask, is it getting stronger? Is it getting softer? Or is it shifting in any way? There's no need to force anything. Just noticing is already healing. Remember, the goal isn't to erase trauma. It's to give your body the space to complete what it once couldn't. If this resonated, here's a way to dive deeper. I've created a free emotional release audio journey to guide you deeper into healing. You'll find the link in the description. And remember, your trauma responses aren't who you are. They're patterns your body learned. With gentleness and presence, those patterns can shift. You are not broken, you are healing. Catch you in the next video.